So, would you be able to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is David Scotland. I'm an actor and a writer, and I'm part of a team called Quite Like You Productions. And together we are bringing a production to the Fringe this year for the first time.
Perfect. So my questions are sort of like not like normal interview questions. I want to do something a bit different.
Yeah,
So, would you be able to tell me two truths and one lie about yourself?
two truths and one lie. Okay. Um, I have dislike. Don't know. It's stronger than dislike, but it's not quite a phobia of bananas. Um, I am 6 foot 6 inches tall, and I am originally from Belfast.
Perfect. And would you be able to describe your show in 23 words?
23.
I know
Okay,
it's a random amount.
I'm going to use my fingers if that's
Yeah, that's
okay. Um, It's about my relationship with art and how that impacts the other relationships in my life, including my mum and my sisters too.
perfect. Thank you. So, what are your plans to sort of get more ticket sales, would you say?
What are our plans to get more ticket sales? We're spending a bit more time than ideally I would like to spend on Twitter, but actually there's so many people on there asking for recommendations, and also it's just been a great space to connect with other companies and other artists, so that has been the biggest help so far, I think. um, and then we will be doing all the classic things once the show starts. We'll be flyering. Our venue's right on the Royal Mile, so we feel pretty lucky with that in terms of location. um, I've not done any research yet, but I have got a little idea of how we can make our flyers a bit more exciting, but um, we'll wait and see if that comes together. I don't want to say it just in case it doesn't.
Yeah, theatre Twitter is absolutely crazy. Well,
Yeah.
when I put that tweet out originally, I thought I was maybe going to get 10 people.
How many did you get?
Uh, I actually lost count because I get other like press releases as well. So I think I got probably about 100.
Wow, jeez. Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, people like, oh, can you sort of like, have you got enough time? I was like, I don't know. I probably lost your email and I apologize.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Gosh, yeah. There's so many of us. I think there's like just over 3,000 shows. So yeah, yeah. Lots going on.
Like, you're my first interview of the day. And then I've got two
Yeah,
other interviews as well after this. And then I'm publishing it on like podcasts. I'm about to like put everything out soon. But yeah, I wasn't expecting so many
yeah.
people.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think people do the same. I feel sorry for like some members of the general public, I think, who innocently just tweet, "Oh, going to the Fringe, any recommendations?" And then by the time I've got to their tweet, I already see that like 80 shows have already accosted them. So it really is like going on Twitter right now. Fringe Twitter is like walking down the Royal Mile and just being bombarded with every show going.
Like, put out a tweet last week saying, what shows would you recommend for people who don't like musicals?
Hmm.
Like, I've got a couple of ideas, but I was sort of like thinking, okay, like the play that goes wrong, and then maybe like Choir of Man,
Yeah.
which were two shows that actually came from the Fringe. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so I was sort of thinking, okay, right, what other Western shows are there or Broadway shows? Was like that I was bombarded with more shows about the Fringe when it was aimed at the Fringe. Because I've
Like,
got all this. I need to plan all my content, obviously. So I
yeah.
was like,
Sure.
I was just sort of thinking, okay, the podcast is releasing every day. Then I probably need to make a couple of videos as well, like blog posts. And I've got a couple of reviews lined up. But I was more thinking, wow, it's great, it's crazy. It's great for everybody. So that's what goes into my next question. What do you think you'll miss when you're away, sort of away in Edinburgh?
What will I miss? I guess I will just miss a lot of my friends and my support network that I've got down here. I mean, I'm very lucky. Some of them are coming all the way to Edinburgh to see the show, which is so lovely. So I will have visitors in dribs and drabs. But yeah, I will definitely just miss a lot of the people down here and the support that they get 100%. So it'll be important, I think, to remember to try and keep in touch with them and not fall too much into a little Edinburgh bubble.
Definitely. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm originally from Stirling, so actually, having said that about support, when we're at Edinburgh, I'll be staying with my mum and dad. So
Oh,
that will
that's
be,
quite lucky.
yeah, very lucky. Gosh, yeah, so lucky. So I will have a lot of support in that way, which is really, really nice.
And aside performing, what are you looking forward to doing most in Edinburgh?
Gosh, I am looking forward to eating a lot of foods. I love foods. So I'm looking forward to. I actually need to do. I've been following a couple of threads people have posted, like give us your Edinburgh food recommendations. So I've been following a few. So I need to make my way through the list and just earmark a few places that we're going to hit up when we get up there. But yeah, food apart from shows is going to be the big thing.
Cool. And if you were to like take over programming of a venue, what sort of shows would you choose, sort of thing?
Gosh, good question. I think like with the theatre world as a whole, I feel like bigger opportunities for new writing or people willing to take a risk on new writing aren't as prominent as they are at the Fringe. I think a lot of the West End model now is like a classic play that everyone knows, and you pop a super famous person in it, and then just rinse and repeat, which I'm sure does really really well for ticket sales, and obviously
Yeah,
it's like hugely financially viable. But I feel like there are so many great writers and great plays that are out there and are getting put on in smaller places but aren't quite getting that sort of mass exposure. So I guess my dream would be to be someone who kind of like breaks that cycle and lets the new writing come through in a bigger way.
definitely. It's really hard, like for theatre people to sort of grow their like audience apart from at the Fringe, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So why would you say audience should see your show?
Why should they see it? Well, hey, I've been on a real journey with it because when I first wrote it, it's very autobiographical. So in a way, it felt like a super indulgent thing to write. Um, and I was worried that as interesting as I could make my account of my own experience, how would other people relate to that? What has been the nicest feedback that we've had so far is that people find, so even though it's completely my story, audiences are finding so much of themselves in it too. So it's that thing of what is most personal can also be what's most universal. And actually a lot of the things that we struggle with, the anxieties that we have, the joys that we have as human beings are all like super similar. So I guess it would be the enticement would be come along and see what you can find of yourself in me and my story.
That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Did you say your show has changed? Did I hear you say?
Um, it hasn't. No, do you know what? From the first draft, it actually hasn't changed massively. It's been more about cutting and editing. That's down to get to that crucial like Edinburgh
Yeah.
hour as well. So that everyone can fit in like all the other shows that they want to see. But and that was something I was very anxious about actually. But I worked very closely with Amy, who's directing the play, to figure out what to cut. And it feels like rather than cutting bits away from it, what we've done is like reduce it down to
Yeah,
like its essence, which is a really nice feeling.
that sounds brilliant. So I've got loads of questions that I've prepared. I'm just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Working your way through.
so. What show would you say you're most excited to see apart from your own?
Um, well, I'm definitely. I said this quite a lot. I'm really worried that the awkward productions think I'm like stalking them, but I'm really excited to see Untrue Diana, which is like their. I guess it's like a mockumentary type of vibe of the Princess Diana story. I've just heard great things about them and the shows that they put on, so that's definitely something I'm super excited to see.
And so, if the world was in a way going to end,
Hmm.
what would be your last show that you would see, like either on the West End, Broadway, or like regionally, or at the Fringe?
Good question. Good question. Um, if I could like manifest a show to like be on for the very end of the world, it would probably be Sunday in the Park with George. It sounds weird to say it that it's my favorite musical because I've never had the privilege of seeing a production of it put on stage, but it is definitely my favorite musical. I was going to go and see that when it was going to come to the Savoy with I think it was going to be Jake Gyllenhaal, and then COVID happened and that all got cancelled. So there's something in the universe that's
Yeah.
like preventing me to see it. So that would be like my dying like act to like make sure I see a production of Sunday in the Park with George.
That's really cool. What's your all-time favorite show that's maybe currently running on like the West End, Broadway?
Um, what have I seen recently that I really enjoy? Gosh, you should always think about these things before because your head just goes completely blank, doesn't it? It's running right now. Gosh, what back? I can tell you what some of the things that I want to see that I
Yeah.
haven't had the chance to see yet, which are I've actually got a little list in my diary of like all the shows I want to see which are on right now. So I definitely want to see Crazy for You, which again, oh no, I have seen a production stage of Crazy for You, but I'm really excited to see this one. I want to see Strange Loop, which I've heard
Yeah.
the most amazing things about, which also I haven't had a chance to see. And operate. Oh yes, this is one Operation Mincemeat. I'm desperate to see that. I've just heard
I,
the most brilliant things.
I've not seen any of those yet. I've got literally on my phone. I've got notes with all the shows I want to see. It's never it's getting longer. It's not getting shorter.
No, you can't see them quick enough for something else being added, right? Definitely. But yeah, hopefully post Fringe I can catch up on lots of those because they've been on my some of them have been on my list for a while.
Yeah, it's really hard as well because I work sort of like near enough full time, and then
Hmm.
I've got all this to do, so I only have like a tiny amount of space for.
That's the thing, right? When you're doing other bits and pieces, like, and with stuff like this, I guess it's not just like the having the interview, right? Then you've got to go
Yeah,
away and edit it and put it all together and put it through like whatever system it's got to go through. So it all takes
yeah,
so much time. But yeah, 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 yeah.
and like as well, I get all the like theatre news as well from certain people, so
Yeah,
which is really nice. But I've got to like post that. I've got to do.
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a huge industry to keep on top of because stuff's happening all the time, right?
Don't get me wrong. I think theatre Twitter is absolutely amazing.
It
It's
really is.
probably I think it's the best Twitter out there because every other Twitter is sort of like yeah, for themselves. But this one, the community is lovely.
Yeah, all the horror stories that you hear about people on Twitter, it doesn't seem to, from what I've experienced, exist in the theatre Twitter world. It's
Yeah,
the same. It's almost like its own separate like app in a
yeah.
way.
Well, what would you say is the what show would you recommend for people to see who are not necessarily into musicals?
If they're not really into musicals, gosh, I mean, there are so many great plays that get put on all the time. I would say rather than maybe like a specific show, I would say look at venues like the Royal Court or like Hampstead Theatre, which are still in town, but not like on like Shaftesbury Avenue, where like there's lots of exciting stuff going on and that maybe you don't get bombarded with in the same way that you do the big musicals. So that'd be my top tip, I think.
And what would you say your favorite? Have I asked you what your favorite musical is?
Favorite
I don't.
musical is Summer in the Park with George. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what I usually do is I usually ask my guests to tell me a question they want to ask my next guest. So what would you
Oh,
like to ask?
amazing. What would I ask them? You don't have to tell me who it is, but it's someone going to the Fringe, is it?
It's going to the Fringe. I can't remember. It's
Okay, cool. Yeah, fair enough. Um, I think I would ask them their top tips for anyone who's visiting the Fringe for the first time and what they would say.
that's perfect. I'm just trying to think if there's any other questions at all. What sort of things are you looking forward to the most about going to Edinburgh, would you say? Have I asked that?
Um, I'm not sure if you've asked that actually. I think oh we I did speak about food. Yeah, I'm really excited to go and try all the food. Sorry, that's my laptop going off. I'm really excited to try all the food offerings up there. There's lots of nice places to eat in Edinburgh. I'm just looking forward to meeting lots of the other companies who, again, like we were saying, I've already interacted with on Twitter. So it'll be nice to meet people in the flesh. Um, and I'm also just looking, as soppy as it sounds, I'm just really looking forward to hanging out with the other actor in the play and our director, Amy, and just, just having a laugh with them and having a little theatre jolly to Edinburgh.
That sounds amazing. And what would be your all-time goal for your show?
Gosh, all-time goal, I guess, would just be to be able to share it with as many people as possible. So, whether that is the opportunity to tour around with it, or whether that's the chance to have like a big, nice sit-down run somewhere, that would be amazing. But yeah, just every time I share it, I get more and more from it. So, the more that I'd be able to do that would be brilliant.
That sounds amazing.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I actually can't think of any more questions to ask you.
Oh, well, that's good. We covered everything. That's a good sign, I think, maybe.
Yeah, so I wish you all the best in Edinburgh when you when are you going there?
So we are on from the 21st to the 26th of August at the Space on the Mile.
Perfect. Well, I wish you all the best. I'm probably
Thank you
gonna
so much.
I'm gonna edit this, and it'll probably go out in a week or so.
Brilliant. Okay, great. I'll look out for it.
And yeah, let me know how you get on, and maybe we can do a follow-up interview
Hey, that would
afterwards.
be yeah, that would be super cool actually. Yeah, I'd really like that. That'd be awesome.
Well, I hope you have the most amazing time, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Yeah, see you soon, Tim. Take care. Good luck with the rest of the interviews today.
Bye bye.
See you later.